Good evening. Welcome again to our broadcast here in the Issues Room. Today is June 18th, 2024. It's a little past 7 o'clock, and we'd like to welcome all of you, our viewers, wherever you are, to this 240th broadcast. We've come here on Tuesdays and Fridays to discuss the things that matter to Liberia, the African continent, and that of the diaspora. We encourage you to please share our link right now. You can be a part of the conversation by weighing in, letting us know you're here. But we also can be called on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or formerly Twitter, which is now X, and LinkedIn. Please encourage folks, because the conversation tonight is going to be a good one. I guarantee you. And why? Because we just ushering a new government. And that government is headed by President Joseph Yuma Boakai, came to power January 22nd, 2024. But since the inception of the new administration, so much has been happening. And, we have a powerful guest here tonight. And he is the chairman of the Liberia People's Party, the party that carried the broom, the broom to sweep corruption, to sweep societal ills. And that chairman is Mr. J. Yankwe Zeze. He will be joining us very shortly. He is the chairman again of the LPP. If you remember the name Tiawan Gonglo, who was the standard bearer, and his vice standard bearer was Mr. Emmanuel Ewer Yakbawolo. So we'll come back to the conversation. But let me welcome my brother, Alphonso Yeno. Alphonso, welcome to the show. You're right on time.
Thank you, Volcano. Yep. Thank you, my brother. Great to be here with you as always. And as is always the case, this will be a great show. So I'm glad to be here.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you again. And I see Moses backstage. I don't know if this is what he wants to do, but he's driving. Moses.
Yeah, how are you? Hi guys. It's a pleasure to be with with all of you for this very important podcast. And let me say hi to the many viewers out there. I'm gonna do this via my phone because you already know what I communicated to you guys. All right.
All right. So good to have you guys. Again, as I said, we're here tonight to discuss some very pertinent issues trending in Liberia. And we've thought to bring in the chairman of the Liberia People's Party, Mr. J. Yankwe Zeze. And in fact, Alfonso, if I'm right, the LPP was one of the parties that kind of supported the Unity Party in the second round. Am I right? Do you recall?
So yes. So they did. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would say one of the mergers. So let's hear from them, right? So I'll bring in Mr. Zeze. You're welcome to the show. Let's hope the internet in Liberia is not a rescue internet, that it will do its best to keep you posted. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you. You've been here before during the campaign, and now you're here now in another capacity. Still an opposition, even though you merged, it doesn't mean that you're still not an opposition. So I will let the guys begin the conversation after your greetings. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, and I say good evening to those in the diaspora, good evening to Liberians, those are willing to join us tonight. Thank you very much for inviting me, I think for the second or third time. I hope this time the internet is going to help us so we can at least discuss the issues you want to discuss, and let's hope participants can get on board so we can help to move the country forward. Thank you very much.
Alfonso, let's start with you.
Yeah, so the LPP issue has stood up. Welcome, my brother, big brother, Honorable Yanquez as a chairman of the LPP. Full disclosure, I've known Brother Zeze for a long time. I've known of him before I actually met him in Newark, New Jersey, more than a decade ago, and we worked together on a number of things. But I promised to ask some critical questions here tonight. So, part of the LPP statement that was issued, which Volcano has, based upon background information, you will play.
So, do you want me to play the clip and then we go from there, or you want to? What do you
May,
want?
maybe that, so our viewers can follow as well. Yeah.
Okay, so let's play the clip with the chairman of the party, and then we'll come in with the full discussion. All right.
The Liberian People's Party (LPP) extends its greetings to all citizens and reaffirms its commitment to the continued progress and development of our beloved country. In light of recent claims by the Unity Party
Can we all mute,
regarding
please?
achievements made by it within the first 100 days of being in power, the LPP wishes to provide a response and outline its concerns and recommendations for a better Liberia. It can be recalled that on Wednesday, October 26, 2023, at 11 o'clock a.m., the LPP endorsed the Unity Party, in the runoff election based on its expectation that of the two remaining parties in the presidential race, the UP was a better choice in governing Liberia, consistent with the 10 points agenda of the LPP. It is important to note that UP's endorsement by the LPP was not preceded by any discussion between the two parties on the formation of an alliance or any other political consideration. It was based purely on national interest. LPP even lost 4 of its partisans in the process of campaigning for the UP during the second round of the presidential elections. Therefore, as a party that supported the UP during the second round, the LPP is under a moral duty to help UP to succeed by speaking the truth about its performance.
Amanda!
Word.
Amanda Africa, where to?
Word.
Speak truth to the power.
The Liberian People's Party says what it looks that there have been some missteps. It acknowledges that the fact that some notable achievements have been made thus far by the government. Achievements and concerns. The party commends the Volcano administration for the achievement made on its 100 days deliverables, while it takes note of some missteps that have the potential to undermine public trust and the building of better Liberia. LPP welcomes the signing of Executive Order Number 131, establishing the War Economic Crimes Code, following a rather redemptive action taken by both houses of the 55th legislature to pass a resolution for the establishment of the code. This is indeed a great step forward towards bringing closure to the 14-year civil conflict, to end the culture of impunity and strengthening the atmosphere of peace while promoting culture of accountability. The LPP will closely monitor the administration to ensure that this code becomes operational and serves its purpose effectively without delay. LPP commends the government for efforts made during the first 100 days to rehabilitate some very challenging roads in rural Liberia, especially in Lofa and southeastern Liberia. LPP also commends the minimum effort made thus far by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Environmental Protection Agency, Water and Sewer Corporation, and the Liberian Revenue Authority, amongst others, by taking steps in the right direction in their respective institutions. While the LPP notes with satisfaction some positive steps, taken thus far, it has observed many missteps and wishes to highlight a few of them as follows. Number one, formation of inclusive government. Contrary to President Walker's promise to the Liberian people that he would form an inclusive government, meaning all Liberians will be represented in government, LPP looks with reservation that eight counties have no representation in the cabinet. Senator Amara Kona recently added his voice to the issue of inclusion. The GSA Director General, Honorable Calamine Kofi Mike, speaking to a group of local citizens, said that about 60% to 70% of the senior positions in the current government are occupied by citizens of local counties. Sadly, President Walker did not follow Section 10.2 of the Executive Law, which prescribes the legal formula for the formation of inclusive government, developed by the legislature in 1973. The law says, I quote, "A president shall appoint one cabinet minister from each of the counties of Liberia." How President Walker followed this law, he would have formed an inclusive government. On this issue of political inclusion, former President George Weah of the CDC has a better record. He retained UP's Minister of Internal Affairs, Transport, and Information, as well as the Director General of the Cabinet and Director General of GSA, amongst other UP officials. B. Violation of the Public Financial Management Law, PFM. The Volcano administration violated the Liberian Public Financial Management Law enacted in 2009 when it requested and received $80,000 United States from the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, NASCA, to purchase vehicles while former President George Weah was still the President of the Republic of Liberia. The Volcano administration also violated Liberia PMP law by concealing the source of the funds for purchase of the 285 yellow machines. According to Honorable Mamaka Belete, Minister of State without portfolio and special envoy of President Joseph Nima Boakai, mentioned during the May 24, 2024 cabinet retreat that Liberia had acquired the machine. Are the 285 machines part of gifts or loans given to President Joseph Boakai in exchange for any of Liberia's natural resources, including the Wolofisi Mountain? Additionally, while the Volcano administration violated the PMP law and concealed US $251 million in United States dollars to be borrowed during 2024 calendar year, the Volcano administration reported within the national budget only US $45 million as money to be borrowed in 2024 instead of disclosing the actual amount of US $296 million. Further, LPP needs clarification of the 100-day deliverables, specifically regarding the evaluation method that the Unity Party used to claim that 74% of major roads are possible during all seasons, including rainy season. Reports given by Naomi and Center, amongst other independent evaluations, have created more doubt over the government's claim of success. LPP demands an independent audit of the 100-day deliverable. Key priorities and concerns of LPP. As a policy-driven political party, the LPP will emphasize the following priorities as outlined in its position statement on October 26, 2023. 1. Rule of law. The Volcano administration has and is undermining the rule of law by appointing or reassigning applicants who were indicted by the General Audit Commission and or who have questionable character. For example, the administration nominated Consular Popa Proud as Minister of Justice when the administration, quote, ignored major red flag, unquote, according to Front Page Africa. The local newspaper added that Consular Proud was found guilty of ethical practices as a lawyer by the Grievance and Ethics Committee of the Supreme Court of Liberia, a ruling that was based on information from 150 pages of court records. Similar to the Weir administration, where a nominee for the post of Minister of Justice was withdrawn because of ethical issues and renominated as Minister of Labor. Walker's nominee for the post of Minister of Justice was withdrawn and renominated for the post of Minister of Labor, thereby sending a very wrong message to the public that the Ministry of Labor is a dumping ground for cabinet nominees with ethical issues.
Come on now. Minister of Labor is not a dumping ground for corrupt officials.
2. Undermining the separation of powers. LPP notes that the legislature frequently usurped the financial management power of the UP government or prior government. In a party's view, the national legislature should be restricted to budget appropriation and oversight function as provided by the Constitution of Liberia. Spending lies exclusively within the province of the executive branch, according to the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Wasteful spending. Neither the president nor the vice president should hire private jets. It sends a very strong signal to the people of Liberia and sympathizing partners of Liberia about the actual state of the Liberian economy.
Right now, they were wrong today, wrong. You can't play back at the today, you enjoying it, Amanda! You say, oh, one yesterday, and you ride it today, me, you are coming out,
Also, the government should start purchasing luxurious vehicles from government officials. Additionally, the government should increase the lifespan depreciation period for new government vehicles to 6 years instead of 2 years. These steps will definitely save money for investment in health, agriculture, education, and road construction as well as maintenance. 4. Ignoring Africa in its foreign policy agenda. Since his inauguration as president of Liberia, President Walker has not attended any meeting of the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS or the African Union. He has also made no effort to build a strong relationship with the Mano River Union. This is wrong, started by the Walker administration. Given Liberia's conflict history, it is imperative that any Liberian president must seek to strengthen Liberia's relationship with Mano River Union and ECOWAS in the interest of national security of Liberia. Also, Liberia, as a founding member of the African Union, beginning with the meeting of presidents Ahmed Sekou Touré of Guinea, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, and William Biafra of Liberia from July 15 to July 19, 1959 in St. Louis and ECOWAS in Lagos on May 28, 1975, cannot make these organizations secondary to its foreign policy consideration. Also, it was a big mistake for the president to have been absent at the recent meeting of the African Development Bank in Kenya. Why?
Your first security now, say you. You said you are not well, environment, say you. Amanda! Away! The say you want to government and so you need to get another to them, say you.
5. Publish the assets declared by all officials of government along with their salary. The Walker administration is undermining the country's anti-corruption policy. President Walker has failed to publish his declared assets, and Vice President Jeremiah Kun has failed to declare and publish his assets. The failure to publish asset declaration of government officials hampers anti-corruption efforts. This delay in declaring and publishing information on assets will
Amanda!
which certainly undermine the idea and practice of quote lifestyle audit unquote, as recommended by the Liberian People's Party. In light of these concerns, the LPP calls on the President, Vice President, and all government officials to declare and publish their assets. This act of transparency is essential for rebuilding public trust and demonstrating a genuine commitment to fighting corruption.
So we'll stop here because we capture a lot of the key things, and we can come back to it, but we didn't want to continue. Overall, we got a lot here, especially the issues. I'm not concerned about the what you call it, the accomplishment of the administration. The administration hasn't really accomplished a lot yet for me to even tap it on the back. I'm concerned about the things here that the LPP lamented. Inclusive government. It's not happening. 8 counties without representation in the government. More Lofians or Lofians, how you call it, in the government did not follow the law for inclusive government that was established since 1973. Violation of the PFM, purchasing of vehicles outside of the norm. 74% of the major roads are passable. What is the benchmark to determine that? Undermining the rule of law. The government is currently Kopokura, who is from the MDR, in as much as he was not competent to be at the Ministry of Justice, being incompetent in terms of character. How dare you send him to the Ministry of Labor, which is also another integrity institution? If you look at it, I mean, the Ministry of Labor is critical to the people of Liberia. Um, Use of private jet vehicles should be purchased not to last only 3 years, and people can have ownership to them 6 years. There are cars that go for 20 years, depending on its care. No attendance to ECOWAS, AU, and lukewarm relationships with MRU. The publish of asset declaration and all of that. So let's talk about these things, but let me go back to Alfonso, who will take the lead, and followed by Moses, and we'll continue this conversation. But I just wanted to point out some of those key things that I jotted down. I think there's a lot here. It seems as it's a repetition of the past. After you made all this loud noise about the country is on autopilot, no leadership, and then there will be no business as usual, and then you come back. So I think a lot to unpack here tonight. Let's start with you, Alfonso. I know you. Oh, yeah, you went out and came back. Go ahead. You're
Yeah,
good.
thank you. Yeah, great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, thank you, Volcano, and the presentation is really great. I have a few issues here. I know your statement touched on very key things. It seemed to be balanced. There are certain places where you praise the administration, there were other places where you criticized. Volcano, at this point, I want to take your lead to say let's focus on the criticisms. So the LPP talked about, the LPP praised the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but at the same time criticized the president, neglecting ECOWAS, OAU, AU, etc. Of course, I know that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so I want you to reconcile that, how you're criticizing the president, but also praising the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is supposed to be the implementation of the government's foreign policy on issues that you're saying, foreign policy issues that you're criticizing the president on. You talk about 8 counties that are not represented in the is even really good policy to appoint people based upon counties and not necessarily based upon qualification trust to implement government agenda. You talk about Cooper Crua. Cooper Crua was nominated a justice. Now he's sent over there. What is the issue with the or
He's having a serious problem. I mean, you in America and you got internet problems, something not right. You gotta go upgrade, man. Look, Moses, let's start with you, my brother. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
now, now you got me
You
worried
know
about.
that connectivity.
Listen, the man got me worried about Zizé. If you in America and suffering like
Yeah,
that,
and the man, like, bro, what's the difference, eh?
yeah, what's gonna happen? Oh man, go
But
ahead.
look, on the most serious note, Mr. Chairman, you made a number of claims.
The man I'm talking
Uh,
about was it?
yeah, and yeah, but let
Sorry,
me just go. You will come later.
yeah.
The man went off. So, Mr. Chairman, you made a number of allegations against the Boaka administration.
Let's correct it.
Uh, let-
The party on this speaking.
yeah, the party made a number of allegations. So let me ask you this simple question. It's just a yes or no question. Uh, do you or your political party, do you people regret ever forming alliance with Mr. Boaka and the Unity Party?
First correction, we did not form an alliance. And I
Oh,
said
okay,
in his speech, we didn't form an
okay, but
alliance. We said for the sake of
throwing
the
a
nation.
political support, yeah, throwing a
Right.
political support behind the UP. Uh,
Yeah, we
is the LPP regretting what they did in 2017? I mean, 2023.
no, we don't regret because between the two parties, I don't think the majority of Liberian people said what we did, that it was time for change. And we felt that given the records of Buckeye, 40 years in government, worked in so many places, mind you, the United States government or the embassy in Liberia and the European Union clearly stated that we are government stole money from the Liberian people to steal the election. So, I mean, what else do you want to know or to hear before you can say you want to change? We say we should be fighting for democracy. He's been there 6 years. Instead of running on policy, you stealing money to win election, to steal election. Why would you want to vote for such a leader? I mean, to me, I don't see that. It was just a matter of common sense.
Mhm.
They're not voting on issues. They stole money. LPP didn't say that. European Union representative says so. Representative of the United States of America says so. And that's why a colleague of mine wrote a book and said we've been having democratic and free elections for the past 12 years. And I questioned him. I said, are you telling me you didn't consider what the European Union said, what America said, or you don't think that whatever they said were issues that you should consider in your conclusion? So I'm just saying the Liberian people were just tired with the we are government. And we couldn't have done anything else better. Stay away and say they could not participate. We think they are wrong and they were wrong.
Okay.
Sorry,
So,
guys. So my computer got so hot and it froze. It's hot. When my air conditioner on, the noise can be in the background, so I have to turn it off. Which then, whatever. But go ahead, Moses. When you finish, I will finish my
yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted to ask him, is the LPP represented in his Boaka administration in
Yes,
terms of
we have
leadership?
we have Dr. Emmanuel K. Ure Yakpaworo as the
Okay.
executive director for EPA. We already
Hmm.
have our Secretary General as assistant minister for European Affairs at the Foreign Ministry. Those are the two key
Okay.
positions I know about.
Were you expecting more?
Well,
When I
we
say
all
you,
have
I'm
to
talking
be
about the
employed. So
LPP.
if they give us, we're not going to refuse it. People want to be employed. They want money. They want to survive. So, I mean, as bad as the government is, I think many of us would go there to change it. For example, the EPA director, He declared and published his answer before he even went for confirmation hearing. And right away when he took job, he started investigating, prosecuting companies that were violating the environmental laws of Liberia. Right away, he started working. He had interviews. He just came from overseas, visiting and looking for a way to bring more money to see what we can do. Because this is why, for example, if you witness the last few days, like Monrovia was flooded with water because people are building houses in the swamps and creating more problem in terms of, you know, flooding the areas because you're supposed to give a path, give a way, but now people are just building houses anywhere they can find. And the EPA director is trying to at least create awareness. So no, we believe that we should do everything to help this Volcano government. At the same time, we will tell them when you're wrong, you're wrong.
You know, I'm kind of greedy here quickly because Moses took this conversation to a place where I just want to throw this in quick. Only two people you got representing the whole LPP, but how many people put their weight behind UP from the LPP? I know it's not possible to give that number, but just the overwhelming, support that came from the LPP. Isn't that a disparity?
I don't get your question. What is disparity there?
The disparity is that a whole political party put this weight behind the UP, and you only give the people EPA and assistant minister for European affairs. That's the question. I mean, is that all that you could benefit as a
But
result
you see,
of your weight?
that's what we said from day one. The purpose of supporting Unity Party was not an exchange for political offices. If it came by, so be it. We believe that there was a need for change. Look, 4 of our partisans died. 4.
At the UPA headquarters?
No. These 3 died while they were campaigning in Nimba. 1 died the day of the launching. I was on the float with the VSB, my vice presidential candidate, on the float with the president now, with Buckeye, with some of the senior officials that are in the government. We all were on the same float with the broom, telling people that this is the right person now for us. We need to change. We are. This man, the United States government, European Union told us they stole money to see election. So the fear was, if you allow him to win, you don't know what's going to happen when you're walking away after 12 years. We didn't want that. I mean, look at most time look at financial records. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, look in the street, go on Macklin Street. You got more sellers than buyers. I mean, I'm worrying what happened in Haiti, where you have the gangs taking over. Are we going to experience that in Liberia? Because you don't have jobs? I have retired, but should I stay in the gated compounds forever? I can't get out? My friend, when you go out there, whether that's a marketplace and you ride an expensive car, you are perceived to be a rogue. The children do not welcome you because they are hungry. They can't find food to eat. And you are having all of these good food being advertised. You know, opulent lifestyle. That's what we're carrying out here. I mean, I see Borka today, he got about 15 cars. For what? When people can't find food to eat. Now, here's a story about Buchanan. I mean, Borka had a retreat in Bombing. He has a retreat at Ministerial Complex. So the senators said, okay, we also want to retreat. And you spend that much money when you don't have schools. I have walked, and from my own experience, I walked from CDC headquarters all the way to City Hall. Why? As a bookkeeper from Tottenham High, I wanted to find out, what are we producing? We went to Bopulu, Tiawan, and I told the wife, I said, count the tables with goods produced in the country versus the goods versus the tables with goods that we are importing. 75% of the tables were carrying imported goods. Now, if you're not producing, how are you going to have jobs? It's a serious business, my friend. We can't be joking.
Chairman, I just wanted to.
Okay.
Chairman, I want to ask you a few questions here.
Yes, sir.
Job creation. I want to ask you a few questions. In terms
Yes,
of
sir.
job creation, in terms of job creation, in terms of asset declaration, and really in terms of the 8 counties that LPP claim are not represented. In terms of the 8 counties, I just want you to state those 8 counties. I believe that will be an
I
easy
don't have the
process.
list with me now. Later on, I can send it to
Oh,
you.
okay, that's fine.
In fact,
Now,
also you can even listen
that's
to
that's that's
Amaracon, and he repeated that as well.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have it, that's fine. I kind of disagree with Amara Conan's argument at that time, but it's neither here nor there. Because as I look at the list, I think almost every county is represented. But I also think that uh,
Represent them some ministers.
ministers and directors and stuff, but neither here nor there because I don't even believe in the concept that every county should be represented in a ministry. I
But if
think
there's a law, is there's a law rather from
I, I
1973?
think I think the law said, as the LPP statement itself said, where practical. So that leaves room for whatever.
Yeah, so that doesn't make it,
Yeah, yeah,
Gospel.
yeah.
imperative. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. My point is, we agree that these people are violating the law by not declaring their assets. Is the LPP prepared to go beyond issuing a statement as you have done and take these people to court for breaking the law? I mean, growing up as a young man in the social justice movement, I used to hear Jacob Matthews, Sipa Mabani, and all of those people go to court and sue the government, issue writ of mandamus, writ of this, to force the government to perform and government officials to perform their functions. Is the LPP prepared to go beyond just issuing a statement, which could be brushed aside, to go into the courts and actually taking action to compel government and government officials to do their jobs? That's my one question. On the issue of Cooper Cruad, Cooper Cruad, when he was when the bar association through the Supreme Court bar said that Cooper Cruad, sanctioned Cooper Cruad for whatever he allegedly did, and they found him liable of breaking ethics. Your standard bearer was president of the bar association. What they recommended was that Cooper Cruad pay the people back and whatever. So two questions here. Is ethics a violation of the law? And if so, why didn't the Bar Association, under your standard bearer, seek to prosecute Cooper Kura, but you are now tying Cooper Kura again around the neck of this administration?
No, he was guilty. They found him guilty. The ethics committee found him guilty. What
Of
other
ethics,
investigation we
of
have?
ethics,
The Supreme
of
Court, the
ethics
Supreme Court.
violation, not of ethics violation, not of the violation of the law, violation of the ethics. And the Bar Association of the Supreme Court thought that the way to correct that was to make him pay back money. But you are saying Boaka is undermining the rule of law by appointing somebody who violated ethics, not the law. How is that
You,
violation of
you,
rule of law and not of
you,
ethics?
So you're becoming too technical. You remind me of Bill Clinton. What is? You saying here, if the
Uh-huh.
Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia,
And I up begin up
yes,
here, up made it begin.
the ethics committee of the Supreme Court of Liberia
Uh,
investigated this man and found him guilty, you saying the Bar Association should have done something else?
no, the Supreme Court bar, the bar could do something though. The bar can disbar lawyers who are unethical. The bar did
I don't.
nothing. The bar did nothing to
I'm not
bar
a
this.
lawyer.
Let's go back to.
I'm not equipped with the
All right, let's go back
information.
to Bill Clinton. Do you know that Bill Clinton's law license was taken away from him? Not by the
That's what
Supreme
I'm
Court, but
saying.
the
I'm not
Bar
a lawyer,
Association
so
for
I'm not
breaking.
going to go into that direction, sir.
I know you're not. I know,
Uh-huh.
Chief. I know you now. You might be brother. So I just giving you answer here. So the
No,
point here
you
is
try to do that,
the
and we
Bar
ask
Association.
questions.
What the Supreme Court Bar suggested was that Kura violated ethics. And the way to correct the ethics was for him to pay back the people money or to be suspended. Now, the same bar, Supreme Court bar that did that when Mr. Councillor Gonglo was chair, is now blaming Bwakai for appointing this man after he has met the obligation that they assigned to him. That is the dilemma I see here.
I guess that would be a good question for
But
him.
but, but let's leave that. Let's go to the point of whether the LPP is prepared to go to court to force government officials who haven't declared assets to declare assets. Are you prepared to go beyond that issuing statement? Any and everybody can issue statement. We've been issuing statements for 100 years. Are we prepared to take action to force people to do what the law requires them to do?
Well, that's a good recommendation, and for me, in fact, it will not be in an area of asset declaration. It will basically be in an area of trying to show that we can appropriate the money in order to find food. We are saying if we don't begin to find jobs, which were one of the things you listed, I would think we should encourage political parties, call for a conference, and ask international organizations, and of course, our good brothers and sisters in the diaspora to join us to convince Borkai, that look, or the Borkai administration, that look, if we can't find jobs, we are risking the possibility of another civil war. So, I mean, you don't have to go to court.
Does
Let
the
us mobilize political parties.
LPP have any recommendation in terms of job creation that it can probably present to the government or that it can do on its own?
Yeah, in our campaign we clearly stated that. One, what you can do now, you say, for example, you want to establish agriculture activities in the 15 counties. If you go to the recommendation, we have those things listed in the 15 counties. Don't stop there. Instead of having our military personnel who are sitting now in the barracks and not working, get them involved. The next thing is create living conditions in the 15 counties so that the employees you get to work on the farms will have somewhere to live. Go beyond that. Include housing facilities where you can have a boot camp for most of the young guys who are in the streets and looking for nothing but trouble. A boot camp associated with farming so that when you have the children disciplined, you can also teach them to work. If you start having employment in the different counties, you will discourage the massive migration of rural or villagers from these places where no jobs to Morovia or urban cities. That will be, for me, that will be my focus point. We will begin to see how we can encourage other political parties, to see how we can call for a conference specifically on agriculture, because it's the engine. If you went there and start employing the children, you start producing food, you're going to change the economic dynamic in Liberia. And then you don't have to worry about the price of rice going up because you produce so much food that the price of rice that are imported will have to drop. Look, potatoes. I mean, go around Monrovia. Food, the chicken feed that you don't eat here is now the major protein in Monrovia. The chicken feed that you don't eat here. Beyond that, people are fishing but are exporting the fish and are not selling on the market. So protein has become a problem in Liberia. I'm saying to you, if we can call on other political parties, Buckeye and the other guys in the administration, they are level-headed. That's why we want them. That's why we supported them. But not the judge we are. If we call upon them and say, let's have a meeting and find way where we can produce increased agricultural activities, I don't think they will say no. I think they will agree. There where the focus would be. The issue of identifying houses and making sure people declare their assets, that can be worked on so many ways. And I'm sure it will appeal to the international community. And of course, they continue to call on Buckeye, or they begin to call on Buckeye, they're going to declare their assets and publish it.
Look, Mr. Chairman, you have said a lot regarding the current situation in Liberia. The LPP relationship with the current administration. But if a critic of your party come and say, well, the Unity Party came to the leadership of Liberia less than 6 months ago. So they need, time to make it up. Why would you say, if anyone criticizes your party for what you guys are doing now, because the person argues that it's just too early, what would be your response?
We are saying that's why before the 100 days, you didn't hear us speaking, because they said they're going to make a report in 100 days. And some of the things we're asking for, we're not asking for miracles. I mean, you can declare your asset within 2 days. That's not, you don't need 5 months, you don't need 4 months, you don't need 3 months. You can begin to prosecute people within 2-3 days. You can begin to ask the American government to give you documents to prosecute people who've been sanctioned. You don't need 2 months to do that. You can begin to maybe organize a conference to ask your colleagues, how do we move forward? What can we do together? What are some of the things that we are doing that you think we should do? That can be done. We're not asking for miracle. We didn't say, and we thought it was too ambitious when he said no cow will be stuck in the mud. I mean, because you need the dry season, the rain season is the only time you can determine whether the work you did on the rules will be good. But you say 74% of the rules are good. When the rain season has not come, I mean, that's something to me they shouldn't have done. To say cars will not be stuck in the mud when you know the rain season is going to be in July and August. So we are willing to do anything. We are willing to help them to move forward. But at the same time, when they are doing things, we should tell them, no, we disagree. We are a political party. We can't stay there for things to go wrong.
Let me come in here quick, gentlemen. And I think the practicality here involved with this conversation is that when people use the word miracle, it bothers me because we don't need miracle. We need leaders with the willpower, and he's right. It doesn't take months. It doesn't take 5 months. If you want to do something, you do it now, because nothing is promised. No day is promised. No time is promised. Since 1847, we've been lackadaisical about everything. And that is why I said our country has fallen in the wrong hands since 1980. And it's manifested leadership now where we are. Is it a mistake here to have given President Bouaka the opportunity, a broke man who declared he was broke, living on loan? Because if he's not taking the lead on publishing his asset, as he has promised, and make it public, whether somebody holding it in the corner, he should come and bring it out there and make it public and hold all his officials accountable. Is he taking money now to pay some of the loans back? That would be the question people are asking. Why is there all the delay? The formation of his government started on a bad footing, irresponsible footing. Let's be practically honest here. I think the word practical is necessary in this conversation. You bragged about leadership for 40 plus years. You said there was no leadership in the country and you would bring leadership. And the formation of your government is sketchy. Until now, you have all these missteps and you say people asking for miracles. What's this? We can't be disingenuous here. We can't continue to pacify the situation. And the people rightly say it in the Liberian parlance, you will know if your Christmas is good, if the Eve is good. And if you start on this 14 in 5 months and we have all of this nonsense going on, and you say we shouldn't talk about it, the only people who are not going to talk about it are the people who are looking for jobs. The people who will euphemize the situation and just polish it. And I'm just tired with the fact that we always want to protect. We always want to give excuses. It's long overdue, my brother. We're about to be 7 years old, and you still asking for miracle, or you asking for manna to fall from heaven? When are we going to get ourselves together? When are we going to get our acts together? And even the LPP we have had is missteps. Even the broom of the LPP may not have swept everything. Even in your house, you take the broom to sweep. You don't sweep everything. So they will have had a misstep. But the fact that we can talk about these things, it is necessary. And I'm not going to miss on it. I'm not going to pretend here that everything is well. Liberia is crazy. Liberia is rotten. Liberia is a mess. I'm telling you. And it doesn't seem as though we're making any advancement. Our brothers and sisters in the region are gone far ahead of us. Even Sierra Leone the other day, who had his own civil war. Sea Roads Network. The people are resolved to move themselves forward. Look at what happened in the legislature. This body of bad people. Look at the other guy I just heard on Spoon Talk called Prince Stoll. And there's a sidetrack quickly, but I thought to throw it in here. Who on Cedar Akara's grave? The man's a regular guy with no purpose, no direction. The government paid his staff in January. He confiscated the money. He said the people that didn't work in January, the government was not sitting in January. So he didn't pay the people. Now he asking the people to give 50% of their salaries to a project in the district he want to give to market women, his 15 members staff. What nonsense is this? You unseat Akara's grade to come with this? Some of these guys sat on the sideline just waiting for the opportunity to be in government again. This is unfortunate, man, gentlemen. I just thought to just vent a little bit, because when people keep asking, oh, what you expect the government to do? No miracle, no miracle. No, we're not expecting miracle. We expect leadership. We expect the governance of our nation with accountability, with transparency, with regards for the people's well-being. These are not rocket science things we're asking for, Alphonso. These are the generics within the confines of the responsibility of the government. These are the steps, the ingredients of good governance. That's not miracle. It just takes the will, the leader to set the tune. Those of us who study leadership, they say the leader sets the tune. So if Bouaka come confused, can't form his government, then he set a bad precedent. That is why people are changing the names that he recommended, and the man said he come with me and said, no, I'm not meant so to be there. Y'all hold him from that. What kind of thing is this, man? Come on, man. No, y'all go ahead. Y'all talk. I finish.
So you're right, Volcano. But I think the concept that people are expressing there that we want miracle overnight is also correct, because everything has to come within context. If you find yourself beginning from a 6 foot hole, you can't get out of that hole in a day or 2 or 3 or a few hours. You dig yourself out of that hole.
I mean,
So the
somebody,
list, so
somebody
the
there to
list,
somebody there to hand you the ladder. The
yeah.
Americans are there
So
to hand you.
even if you have a ladder, you still gotta go step by step. You can't jump on the top. So it's still a process. So the listeners who are saying it can be a miracle, I think they're not wrong, and I think we shouldn't dismiss their point of view. In terms of asset declaration, I just want to state a fact before going to other things. According to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission Executive Mansion, President Boakai declared asset on February 8, 2024 to the officer in charge at the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. And the officer in charge, according to the Anti-Corruption Commission, the officer in charge LSCC is Patricia Banaba. So President Boakai did declare his asset according to the LSCC and the executive mansion. If they're wrong, I'm wrong. I just want to state what I think is a
We all
fact.
saw the video, Alfonso. We all saw the video.
Okay, so maybe the
The
statement was
publication now is the reason why we have
yeah,
this
I
conversation.
think it's the publication. Now the law regarding asset declaration doesn't mandate anybody to publicly declare the asset.
We know that. But if you said in good
So what you
government
should do,
principle,
what we should
do it.
do, yep, I agree with you. That law is wrong. I mean, anybody who wants transparency and claim transparency as Boycott did, in addition to giving your asset to LSCC, put it out there on your own. Don't wait until I don't have beyond the law. I totally agree with that. But we also need to work to change the law. Why am I saying this? I remember in 1997 when the Human Rights Something Act was passed, and there was a provision in there that said the Human Rights Commission can do nothing, prosecute nothing until they refer to the Justice Ministry. I was one of the people that resisted that through the Justice and Peace Commission. Anti-Corruption Commission, we also resisted and fought that, and that was recently changed. My point, therefore, is that we in the media, we in political parties should take action. It's okay to talk. We should talk. We'll educate our people. But until we take action, these politicians will not listen to us. So I want to make another recommendation to the LPP and through my big brother. Maybe seek to change the law that says that the only place you declare your asset is to the LSCC or to the GSC. Let's try to reform that part of the law so that it reads that people should declare their asset publicly as well. That's one suggestion I want to make on this platform relative to asset declaration. When it comes to the point you are making for Keanu about the guy who is seated Cara Gray, and the corruption in the legislature is us, the voters, is us, the political parties, is the education we give the voters and the candidates we field, the quality of the candidates we field. That's what it is, in my view. So if we put people out there who get elected and start stealing money and doing stuff, it doesn't fall on the president. It falls on us, the political parties and the people. The constitutional library requires political parties to educate, citizens on how to vote. It also requires political parties to field credible candidates. I want to challenge my big brother and the LPP and all the other political parties to do likewise. The president cannot control the legislature. Look at what happened in America today. The speaker was in Mar-a-Lago today. They're going rogue. Biden can't control them. So we shouldn't blame the executive for the excesses of the legislature. We, as media people in the fourth estate and political parties, should hold legislators accountable. That's the one, and I want to see where what LPP plans to do when it comes to holding legislators accountable, when it comes to educating voters to elect the right people in the House and the Senate.
So let's hear from you, Chairman Zize, about your party's role according to Alfonso. Are you
Well,
frozen?
I mean,
Oh,
that's a good recommendation.
and quick question while you in that lane. Do you have any member of your party who is in the House, anywhere in the Senate or the legislature?
No.
Okay, okay.
So what we're going to be doing and what we intend to do is not only educating people. I think we should also consider another law in the Constitution, which is the statute of limitation. I'm not a lawyer, but Chief, you need to find out what will happen if Judge Weah says that you can't audit me for my homes that are built because it's after 3 years. Is that what the statute of limitation means? That after 3 years we can't audit somebody who is presumed to have done something wrong? Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying. So in
No,
addition
you're
to
right,
the
but it
recommendation,
says it says. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish,
5
and I.
years.
well, I'm saying to you, in addition to your recommendation to try
Yeah.
to change the law to include um, publishing the assets of government officials, that would be a good way to start with. I agree with that. I'm also saying we should add that section if, in fact, my understanding of statute of limitation is that after 3 years you can audit an individual. So I'm saying, in addition to the recommendation, we'll be adding that. Yeah.
Wonderful. No, you're
Okay.
right. Actually, the law was amended to change it to 5 years, no longer 3 years. But what the law in terms of statute, but what the law says is that if the government is aware of a crime, a violation, and doesn't institute prosecution within 5 years, then it cannot. But if the government comes upon a violation today, even though it might have happened 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, it can still prosecute because it just came upon that violation today. So, but I'm on board with the LPP and everybody. I've written people, I've advocated that I think the point you made, and I heard in newspapers and media that the government was going to indict people. I hope they do so, that those people who were sanctioned by the U.S. government has expressed its willingness to give the government of Liberia the documentation and information that it has. I think the Liberian government should move quickly, ask for whatever information the U.S. government has, do their own investigation, and indict and prosecute those people where prosecution is necessary. I agree with the LPP again on that piece, and I myself have written a paper, and I've also written a letter to the government on that. So I do agree 100% that that should happen, and that should happen immediately. We don't need to wait for 1 year, 2 years for that to happen. So I agree with you. I agree with Volcano. I agree with everybody who is saying let's do so now. I think we should pressurize the government to do that because that's how we address the issue of accountability in Liberia.
Moses,
Okay. Yeah.
But
Mr. Chairman,
people who are
I
talking,
just want.
people who talk about miracle, let me just,
let's hear
people who
from
talk
you.
about miracle, let me just ask one simple question. Especially the 285 yellow machines. Why the administration didn't just include that there's a possibility and put the amount of money needed that will be trying to get 285 machines. Put in the budget, all right? The value in terms of whether it's coming as a gift or whether you're going to borrow the money to buy the 285 machine. Put in the budget as gift on the revenue side or loan on the revenue side. And then on the expense side, you put infrastructure. You account for it. Better yet, if you look in the budget, sir, you don't see any amount appropriated for the maintenance of those machines. In fact, the budget is going down for infrastructure. By the way, George, we had administration had 55 million, but Boycott administration put 44 million. So where is the amount appropriated for the yellow machine? Besides, where's the amount appropriated to have spare parts? Where's the amount appropriated to hire a crew to maintain the road? Where would the machines be? On the road, or are you going to build a house as a warehouse to keep them? No. So where's the amount of money appropriated for that? Are we saying we got to wait for 6 months, 1 year to do that? I mean, those are questions we're asking. I mean, the question of even, I think I sent it to you, where the loan that is appropriated in a different document is by far higher than the loan to put in the document, in the budget, that it will be borrowing. I mean, why we can't just be fair and say, look, this is the loan we need. Put it in the budget and let people debate it. And you can find reason to convince people that yes, for 2024, we need $296 million US million dollars as loan for this year, and not a 45 million to put in the budget. That's a deception. Why do we do that? I mean, you follow what the former president of Liberia, did in 2005, 2006, 2007. Increased the revenue to 148 million from 83 million. Where did she get an additional $65 million from within a year? When in fact, the GDP was only growing by 8%. I mean, why do we do that to ourselves? Because once you start increasing the revenue, fake revenue, you are encouraging your subordinate to start appropriating for budget or for projects that you don't have money for. So, I mean, should we take 5 years, 5 months to learn that, to do the right thing? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so
we're not saying something that can be done in 1 year. Yes, okay.
Yeah, there's no miracle to do the right thing, Mr. Zizzy. You're right. But let's hear from Moses quick. Coming.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to provide this clarification here. Look, you made a very salient point regarding the publication of Mr. Bwaka's asset declaration form. When he campaigned for the presidency of Liberia, that formed part of his campaign message. Everywhere he went, he declared that upon taking office, the assets will be declared and the assets will be made public. Leadership is about integrity. So you don't say one thing today, and then tomorrow, when it is in your favor, then you begin to flip flop. Oh, I need 2 months, I need 3 months. No, when you were not president, you told Liberians that this is what you were going to do, and that they should hold you accountable to it. Now it is my understanding that there are people in the inner cycle of the current administration that even the president has given the go ahead, but these people are still telling, oh, well, Mr. President, you don't necessarily have to publish it. For the fact that you have declared your asset, you don't have to. But Mr. President, you should be man of your voice. If you told these people that this is what I will do, then nobody should make you to shift. So I agree with the LPP on that. Now let's come back to this statement you made, which is very, very profound. And you made a comparison between the United Party or this current administration and the administration of Mr. Weah. You said that in terms of employment, recruitment of people in government cycle, you gave credit to Mr. Weah as compared to President Bwaka. You said most of the people appointed in this administration come from Lofa, as compared to what Mr. Weir did. Can you explain yourself further for us? What do you
No, no,
mean by that?
we were saying inclusion on the political side in
Okay, inclusion.
having
Yeah.
other employees from political parties. We're saying we are did
Mhm.
well because he
Okay.
retained many of the former employees of Unity Party.
Okay.
That's the comparison we did. It was not how many people came from a county or whether he employed everybody, or at least from every county he had a minister. That was not a comparison. We were comparing what we are did in terms of retaining some UP employees or cabinet ministers or officials of government.
Okay.
Mr.
Uh,
Chairman,
uh,
oh, I'm sorry.
Alfonso,
Yeah.
quickly, let me just follow up on this question. Mr. Chairman, the Weir administration or Mr. Weir was accused of padding government payroll, padding government offices with people from the southeast, people from Grand Cru, people from Grand Jude, and people from other countries in the southeast. That's what his administration was accused of. And you made similar allegation. They say you have a greater percentage of Lofians in the Boaka administration. Do this comparison for us. Is Mr. Boaka more of a travelist as compared to Mr. Weir?
Well, we were saying that Borka did not follow the law, so we were not trying to compare, and we're not in our business. We don't have the technical manpower to say we'll be able to identify the number of the person we has employed from the southeast compared to the number of the person Borka has employed from Lofa, and say who is a troublist. We were
But
basically saying Honorable Barker did not follow the Section 10.2 law pertaining to making sure people in the different countries are represented. That was our concern. We were only adding that our government were very inclusive when it came to the point of other political parties. That's what that's the comparing we did, but not about employing people based on ethnic relationship. No, we didn't go in that area.
uh, what would you say to people who said when you go to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, you have the president, cousin there? You go to other key sectors. You go to the Ministry of State, the Deputy Minister of State for Public Affairs is from Lofa. You go to they go to the Ministry of Finance. It's somebody from Lofa, and the list goes on. And as a political party that fought extremely hard in bringing this administration to power, are you pleased with the number of representations from Lofa County? Tell us.
I'm from Lufa, and
Yes.
the president happened to be my uncle. According to our tribal
Okay.
relationship.
Great.
I'm saying to you, we pointed out the law. Now, we hope that if there are additional appointments to be made, he will take our observation into consideration. I think that's where there will stop. You
So,
can't sue the president. The president has a constitutional power to appoint whoever he wants to appoint. We can't stop him. We can't sue him.
But, but not at the disadvantage of the country, though. You don't go to one region of the country and just recruit from. Yeah.
Moses, I
Yeah.
would challenge you here about
Okay.
disadvantage
Go
of
ahead.
country.
Okay. Go ahead.
When the president is elected on an agenda. The
Hmm.
president seeks people to work with him or her to carry out that agenda to better the country. It should have nothing to do with where county, where tribe, whatever they come from. So I disagree if there's a law. In fact, that particular provision quoted by the LPP was wherever practical. So that's not
Mhm.
even a binding law. Now, I will also argue that, and I'll challenge us for us here, maybe let's go line by line, line ministry by line ministry. I
Mhm.
believe that if there's any county that's left out, it's probably one or two. It's not it. That the
Okay, name some
president
of the
has
cabinet
done,
ministers for us.
and the cabinet minister, just the cabinet, we
Mhm.
got, I think, 15 cabinet positions, or 15 or 16.
Yes, name some for us.
And you see the thing you're doing. You're
So,
talking county. I
yeah,
talk about my city.
yeah,
Yes, yes, Rohini.
exactly. You're
Yes,
right,
yes,
Volcano. So
Rohini.
now we go county, then we'll go city, then we'll go
Yeah,
political party, then we'll go
yes,
social
Yeah,
group.
Rohini.
not taking
Okay,
at the
start
county
with,
level.
Yeah,
Name
man.
some of
but
the
let's go
cabinet
at county level. Let's begin
ministers.
from Sino County. Sino
But
Yeah.
County has the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs.
Yeah, that's Grace.
Let's go to Grand Crew County. Grand Crew has the Minister of Justice.
Yes.
Let's go
Alfonso,
to
please. Uh,
Internal Affairs.
point of information. Can I use some? I, I am the guest of this show tonight,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I want to make sure we can direct the conversation. I
Yes,
think
sir.
to me,
Yeah,
education,
let's direct it to
What's
him.
yeah,
Yes.
the
it?
issue of education is important to me than the issue of how many people he has appointed. We can't do that much about it. But I
I
think we
agree
can
with
say,
you.
I think we can talk about education to see how best we can coach this or at least appeal to this president to do something about education. It is serious. You go around here in my area here, you got people who own schools and can't even speak the English. And you got
You're
And,
right.
the children around here
and
have a whole our
the,
research.
mi- the
Our
Minister of Education is from Lofa County. You know that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Our research used to be 30 minutes to one and an hour. Today, a research is a whole day. Whole day. The
Wow.
students tell the owners of the schools that if you do not allow us to have a whole day to play football and kickball, we will go to different schools. And because the owners of the schools want money, they concede. I'm saying that should be our focus, sir. Please, if we can change
I
the
agree
conversation,
with you. I agree with you. I just thought that the red meat issue of counties not being represented, which is irrelevant to me, and I'm
No,
happy
yeah,
you
it's not
brought that
volcano.
up. I
I
think
mean,
let's
it's
address
not irrelevant.
substantive issues as
yeah,
education,
It
rural
is substantive.
connectivity, infrastructure development. I think
yeah.
those are job creation. I agree with you. Those are the most critical issues impacting
So let
Liberia.
me do this quick
Instead of a
before
county being represented on a cabinet,
let me do
I
this quick.
agree on that.
Let me do this quick before we continue. Just the intermission. If you guys are joining us tonight, we having a great conversation here. It's more serene, peaceful, nobody fighting. Yeah, it's easy. We taking time with our papi, the chairman of the Liberia's People's Party, Liberia People's Party, the LPP. Uh, Stand-up bearer is Councillor Tiawonse Gonglo, if you recalled, just last year when he was going around with the broom. In fact, do you have the broom there with you?
Yes, I have the broom here. You
Okay,
want me to show you? I'll show
just
you.
show the broom. Just show the broom.
Okay.
I mean, it's just symbol. We gotta respect that. But again, if you just joining us, is the issues room, your 240th broadcast. Moses Alphonso Volcano. We're here keeping company with the chairman of the LPP. It's just looking at some of the things that the government did in terms of positive, but also looking at some of the things that the government
There's
did
a
not
broom here.
should be doing, and we're looking forward to a conversation that hopefully President Boaga or any of his close associates will pick up from and hopefully try to improve. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We encourage you to share the link, join us here, and we want to thank all of you who came out here tonight. Quickly, Manis Sumo, it is my hope that you're recuperating. You were not well. That is why we've not been carrying what member lane because we noticed that you have not been uh, very forthcoming. So we wish you speedy recovery. Good to see you here tonight. Hopefully you're bouncing back. Uh, Again, hopefully you have improved in your health, and we'll look forward to receiving memory lane. But welcome back to the show here. Thomas Awaji, all of you guys who say thank you, Christopher Wesley, for always coming through here. Raymond Clark, it takes a village, all of us here in this together, irrespective of uh, your role, our role. We are all in this as a family. Tony and Brooks, good to see you. Flomo Livingston, of course, we know your position, and we appreciate you every time you're here uh, to throw your weight in the conversation. Um, but I want to bring this question in quick, and it's from one of our viewers here. Mane Sumo asked the question. He says, what will have the LPP government do in the first 6 months if Tier 1 was given this opportunity? Now that you have again outlined some of the missteps of the Barker administration, what would have been some of the things that you guys would have done in 6 months? And then my colleagues will come back. But I just wanted to take that one question from the audience.
Quickly, like the focus will be on agriculture. We will call a conference, the Interior Minister, the county officials, Ministry of Agriculture, Carrie, College of Agriculture, to a conference where we all can sit down and figure out how we can organize an agriculture program in order to make sure some of the mistakes that were made in the past, especially when it comes to cooperative, we can at least address it. For example, we'll make sure if we're going to form a cooperative, the leaders will have to come with some bond or collateral, so that if you are head of the cooperative institution, we make sure that there is something that will be holding on, that if you ran away with the people's money, we have something to reimburse, or at least that we can liquidate and replenish whatever you took away. That's one first step. We'll make sure to find out where we will find land, and say, for example, if we want to, with my area, you don't have too much land, how we will find land to make sure to have a farm. Make sure the different counties that's suited for different products. Maybe in the southeast would be breeding cows, goats, sheep, and maybe in Lofa, rice, and maybe in different places, peanuts, cassava, yam. Look, you go to Ghana, they put a lot of yam. I have advanced that argument. If we convince a lot of people from Bon County, from Lofa County, from Bapulu, from Cape Town to eat additional 20% of yam, cassava, and potato, at least for breakfast, you're going to reduce the importation of rice. And you're not going to have rice as a political weapon anymore. If you begin to focus on that, you're going to take a lot of the youth in Monrovia, in Kakata, in Ganta, in Buchanan, transfer them to a boot camp, to these counties, they begin to work. You will reduce the crime rate in Liberia. So agriculture will be the first thing we'll focus on. We would look at the military, go to Todi, go to Nama, go to Shuffling, and see the usage of the military personnel. If they're not involved in too much security issue, we will say, can we reduce the force in Todi by 30%, and that number of individuals will be transferred across the 15 counties to see how they can help to produce food? We will do that. That will be the first thing we have done in the first 2-3 months. The issue of education,
Mr.
we'll
Chairman,
begin to look for.
Mr. Chairman, quickly.
Moses, let me just talk about the education piece quick, then you come in, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
education piece, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, education. We know we don't have the schools here in right now to accommodate, because Ghana tried that. They gave free education. But because they didn't have sufficient teachers and sufficient schools, they had to rotate students going to school. So what we would do in that case, we plead with our um, uh, we'll plead with all heads of states and plead with them to see how we can send some of our students to different states to go to school, to reduce the number of unskilled youth in the street. We need to, if they don't have to go to maybe academic, they go to vocational schools. Let them learn something. If the carpentry, seamstress, tailors, mechanic, we can find those kind of educational system somewhere where we can at least send our youth to go and learn, and they can come back, visit the communities here. Who are the mechanics? Where are they coming from? Guinea or Africa Coast. Where are the teachers coming from? Where are the carpenters coming from? Sierra Leone. How come we don't have many of those in Liberia? Because we don't have too many vocational schools. So in my mind, if we were to take over, we plead with everybody so we can look for schools that are not in Liberia to help our students, our youth to learn something new. Right there.
Okay.
If you talk about, okay, those two important things, school and food, we'll focus on it.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, what you said, it sounds plausible, but I want us to be human. You know, uh, in a period of 6 months, taking over a country that was literally bankrupt, depleted.
Moses,
Yes.
my man, the people drinking beer every night. You said the country was depleted and bankrupt.
Completely bankrupt. I'm talking about in the public sector. You know, you go to the Ministry of Information, only one vehicle that's assigned to the minister. You go to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, three vehicles. Two of the vehicles are malfunctioning. Only one useful one for the minister. You go to the water and sewer. The problem is just too overwhelming. You talk about a country that is completely, underfunded. You know, every sector of the country, in shambles. And you're telling us tonight that the LPP would have, gone ahead and initiate an agricultural project. Where were you going to raise the money from?
I Moses,
Moses,
I
honestly,
don't think he said the
Yeah,
LP were initiated. I think he said LP who have mobilized the different
yeah,
political
but
but
constituencies.
even
yeah,
at
no,
that,
but why
even
you think to do that within the period the chairman lay emphasis on 3 months. And within
Moses,
3 months, this is what they would have started.
Moses, but
Go ahead.
let's stop this behavior here. Let me say this, and I want to say this. That's why I don't
Volcano, did he leave? Did he drive off?
think that he grab or he'll
You
come
will
back.
come back. You will come back.
That's why I don't like to talk because my own way of talking, I'm here to come babysit or pacify anybody. Who told you Liberia is broke? Who told you this thing? If Liberia is broke, you think these people will be living in extravagant opulence? You really think Liberia is broke? There is no willpower because the country has fallen into the hands of criminals. Liberia is endowed. Liberia has wealth. Liberia has minerals. Liberia has money. I'm telling you this for a fact. Because then people who just came 5 months ago will not be getting rich already. People who came 6 years ago wouldn't have been millionaires. Liberia is rich. Liberia has it. It's mismanagement, it's in-depth corruption, it's wickedness to the highest level. And let us stop this excuse about, oh, the country was broke, the country is broke. When you have 10% of people living at a higher level of opulence, and it's manifested when a man who had nothing the other day because he's blessed to be in power and he gets to own $10 million in his bank account within in one term of government, when he's building and buying houses overseas, when all his children are sent abroad into private school. You and I live here. You know the cost of private schools. You know it. And then you say Liberia ain't got money. Oh yes, Liberia got money, but because the monies are in the wrong hands, and that is why we can't see what is supposed to be done. And that we shouldn't keep seeing this thing. Liberia is not broke. If Liberia was broke, Buck, I won't be flying private jet. He'll be looking for helicopter. Let's stop it.
Let the chairman respond.
Yeah, but
go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
I was out of the internet, so what's the question?
Oh, you didn't hear? Okay, so my question was that the UP took over a country that was considered, financially strapped, completely paralyzed. Are you telling us if the LPP have won the presidency, because you did say that within the period of 3 months, the LPP would have begun, the mobilization of resources for agriculture? How possible could that have been when coming in, you have to deal with issues of salaries? You have to deal with issues of
no. You said
yeah.
you were going to inherit a broke country. Stop right
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. A broke country, completely paralyzed.
And I've seen that Liberia has never
Yeah.
been.
Yeah. How possible could it have been for the LPP to start that? Explain for us.
Here, for example, if you look at the budget, the Volcano administration is to borrow 296 million in 2024. If that possibility exists, and there were many, the World Bank has a lot of money to lend to countries. And so is the African Development Bank. They want to make money, so they are willing to lend money out. It's what you do with the money. So if it came to that, we would definitely, look, you say, for example, the 6 months. First thing we have started, that's the additional thing we have done. Begin to prosecute people who stole from the Liberian government. I mean, even if you didn't go to the years of Ellen, just look at some of the big houses that have been built in the last 6 years. You question the people, where did you get the money from to build all the houses? Okay, fine. Another issue, you can say money laundering. That becomes an issue of money laundering if you can't tell us how you got your money. So we got so many reasons. If we begin to take away or at least question these people who have all the money and they can't produce it, the international community will begin to believe that you are serious and you'll be able to pay their debt back, and therefore they'll be willing to lend you money. So the issue of agriculture, it will not take too much in terms of agriculture to have some of the things, because firstly, you will not need all the money. Look at how much Gaddafi gave us, 30 million, the Lufa Rest Project that Volcano cannot talk about. And some of my good friends who are supporting are not willing to talk about. What happened to that money? Okay, they say, Gaddafi didn't give all the money, but they gave us money, we bought a machine. So why didn't we use the machine to produce food? So, there are a lot of things we can do.
You struck a
point. But even with that, you campaign for him, though.
Moses, you struck, Mr. Cesar, you struck a point here. That money I heard about, there's a guy who, I don't know if you know the name, Wendell McIntosh. I heard was involved with that money. He was once ambassador or something.
I can tell you, I wrote an article on that Rest Project 2009. Yes, I wrote an article.
So Mr. Zese is actually an economist, and he has written several articles on the financials. He critiques the budget. He critiques all of these things. He's a technocrat. He's not a politician per se. So that's that. That's why I try to push him on the political front a little bit. When it comes to the financial aspect, he's a professional from Wall Street and everything, and retire back to Liberia. So I appreciate those articles that you write Unfortunately, Liberians don't read those technical pieces. Critiquing even World Bank lending, how it impacts poor countries, all of those things you write. I follow those things, so I appreciate that. I actually appreciate, and I'm saying this because I have to run. I have to pick up my kid at 9 from her
Okay.
something. But yeah, the LPP statement is very well appreciated. So far, I think the LPP is the only opposition political party that has substantively critiqued this administration, line
Thank
by
you.
line, atom by atom. Do I agree with everything the LPP said? No. But just the fact that the LPP did that, and also the fact that I agree with a lot of things that the LPP also said. As I said before, I think a number of approaches need to be taken. Where it's possible, I believe the LPP should engage with the government with policy proposals and stuff to resolve those issues. Where it's not possible, I think the LPP should go to court to force the government to do and government officials to do what they ought to do. I think that's just the critical mass that need to happen in Liberia to make sure that we move things forward. Having said so, I want to thank you, big brother Yankwe. I don't call you Yankwe, I call you Chief. Thank you, Chief, for coming. And
Okay.
I just have to run. That's all. I got to take all this jacket
He's
and go.
still with us, my man. He's still with us.
He's still with you, so I just want to run if you'll give me
Yeah,
permission.
yeah, you are free to go.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the comments and the
Yeah.
praises. Thank you, sir.
Come in, Moses.
Yeah, no, he was on track, and I was telling him, Volcano, and I just want us to be a little bit, reasonable. And I'm not saying this because I'm supporting the Blanca administration. I just want us to be, the real rational beings here. And like any administration coming to the leadership and you meet a country that's in complete, mess, how practicable can that be that you begin to initiate agricultural projects? And don't forget now, we're talking about mechanized farming. And if you're going to do mechanized farming, that also requires that you recruit qualified people to do that. You cannot do that in 6 months or 3 months. Mr. Chairman, you want to elaborate?
Yeah, I'll elaborate. You got
Yes.
the agriculture ministry. You got CARI. You got all of these different agencies that are being involved in agriculture for so many years. All right. I'm
Hmm.
saying to you, are you going to produce food in 6 months? No. But what are you going to do in the first 2 months will make a difference. For example, Boca brought 285 yellow machines for the roads. Why we can't bring 300 machines for agriculture? Why? Why can't we begin to go to the counties and negotiate for the land? At least let's begin that. Why can't we begin to say, let's form cooperatives among the counties and let's establish the structure, the modalities? What would prevent people from doing things that will not make the cooperative effective? Why can't we begin to do those things? That's what I'm saying. Start something that will indicate that you are sincere, that you want to move forward. If you begin, I said to you, I thought Borka should not have said that cars will not get stuck. I would not have said that because that's too much investment before you can reach to that level. But I'm saying if you begin to put some work down to say these are the studies, these are the feasibility studies to do X, Y, and Z, then people know you are doing the right thing. Why it took Borka so many months just to fill in the cabinets? Why? Why? All along you want to tell me he didn't know? Why he took somebody who was the campaign manager for Alexander Cummings to be his minister of state for presidential affairs? I mean, what is that? You should be taking one of your party officers to guide you, because I assume it is the party officer and the Senate bearer that put the platform together. Why bring somebody from different party to carry out your platform and all your officers are looking for jobs? What is that? You got a chairman, co-chairman fighting for job, but leaving the most important job, that is to guide the president to do the right thing. I won't do that. Do you need 6 months to say, no, the chairman, the secretary, the co-chairman, the former chairman should stay with the president to guide the president in order to implement the platform you put out? You put out a platform and you bring somebody from a different part to implement it? I mean, look at the executive mansion. Who do you have there? New faces. People, and that's why a lot of the union partisans are not happy, because they work and they bring different people to do the work.
Let me say quickly. The lines will open the line now. The number to call 404-272-2808 to engage Chairman Zeze. Again, 404-272-2808. Call in and speak with the chairman of the Liberia People's Party. Let me also pin the number here in the chat. Please don't ask for it again. I don't know if you guys don't see the number when it's posted on the byline here. But Chairman Zeze, and you're right. Mr. Boaka, Minister of Agriculture and agriculturalist, a guru of agriculture. Now he's faced with a rice conundrum. The price of rice was just the issue the other day between the commerce minister who said what and da. And here we are. What's the practical steps in 5 months taken, to address the issue of agriculture? And you're right. Are we seeing a repeat of George Weah, who came to the limelight, who became something in his life because of soccer, and yet under his leadership, our team did not qualify for anything? He didn't put any money behind sports. Sports could enhance our economy in a greater way. And so why, when these people say they're experts in the area and they come to power, they don't do anything about it? And Chairman?
Well, again, you see, that's why for us, and there were many people who were saying we should form coalition. We said no, because we haven't worked with most of these guys. We don't know who they are. Stay with the people that you know. I came from the background of playing soccer. It's like when there's a tough game coming, you go borrow from Newtown, West Point to come play. The players will not understand each other.
How much is it? He's a brother team. borrow.
Yeah. The players will not understand each other.
It makes it difficult to coordinate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. He should have continued to stay with the people who work together. Then some of these things will be simple. Then they will not be sending 2-3 names for the same position. I mean, somebody who been around for 40 years, they didn't know who to send where. I mean, I don't know how to defend that. Do you need 5 months to come up with a list? I don't understand that. But
So,
again,
Mr. Chairman, quickly, if I may just follow up on this question. In summary, are you telling us that Mr. Barker has no clue in terms of what he's doing?
No clue.
I won't go to defining. I'm assuming that maybe
Yeah, but
he's
if
old
someone has
and
40 years working experience, they can put a government together.
yeah. But
What does that imply?
some of us predicted that. We knew it because follow Barker throughout. When last he made any statement about a change in Liberia? LPMC, LPRC, Ministry of Agriculture, Vice President. When last was he parked in a garage throughout his life? I mean, yes. When last he wrote an article to say this is how the country should go. I mean, was he afraid to rock the boat? If he was afraid to bring about changes, and you're making a president to change the situation we have, we were wasting our time.
But you
But
did campaign though.
yes, between him and George, we have, of course,
Man,
yes.
man,
I
man, yeah,
told you,
man. Between the two people, obviously, even the issue room. Look, Chairman says that even the issue room said no more. We done. Listen, it didn't matter whether Joe Baka. It's just that we didn't want we are.
Labrador just want them me to we have to
change.
go.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm not
But
afraid or ashamed to say that we didn't want we are. We didn't want we are because the man we told the man what to do. The man just refused to do it. The man didn't want
you
to
know,
do anything serious.
so I mean, but again, I'm appealing to the press, the union, the fourth state. I
Mhm.
like the questions you both have here. I like uh, inviting me. I hope
Yeah.
you could have invited somebody from the UP. Let us debate why the wind is low.
We can try to do that.
We can try to arrange that
Yeah.
and bring you
Yeah.
in, so you guys can debate the issue,
The chairman, why chairman? You chairman of a party and you leave the party, the most important institution, you leave it to go be a director, a board chairman, and you leave the president with strangers.
Yeah, yeah. But the
I
man, the
can
man,
be a chairman.
the man even had to fight for that. Oh,
Yeah.
the man protested. The man created a own protest. What you talking
man.
about?
What are you talking about? Also, the man want to grab something easy.
Also,
What?
on a serious note,
Yeah.
and chairman is here, it tells you that what we're talking about here tonight, and particularly me, I'm telling you that many of these guys were on the sideline just waiting for an opportunity. And I think the chairman is right here. Who leaves the chairmanship? I mean, just being the chairman alone of the ruling party
Yes.
is a powerful
Yeah.
position than being a board of director or
The
chair
chair
of
of
the
a
National
board.
Ports Authority. It just tells you that it is the per diem or the 3 months quarterly board meetings that go to and the perks that come with it. That is the driver for that decision. Because being the
Mhm.
party chairman, the ruling party, you have a lot of. He should be the one here talking about the party's progress. He should be
Yes.
the
Yeah.
one propagating the continued message of the party, talking about the arrest plan and what stages within the plan that has been
It's a
even
very prestigious position.
started. So let's be
Yeah.
practical. That's why I said we can't keep giving excuses. Moses, we've been around long. We were picking them the other day. We are men now, and not just men, we are educated men. We live in the most influenced society in the world. The
Yeah.
people don't go here crying and giving excuses. You and I know you were sitting in that car because you didn't give excuse. You had to be to work. And you
Yeah.
had to be to work to deliver on the job resume that you presented to them and said, I can do the job.
Yeah.
That is why if they require you to get stuck by 7:15, you say, oh, I got an issue when the bill says you got to do your job here. We can't keep giving these excuses. We can't keep
That's
talking
true.
about miracle. No, we're not asking for miracle. We're asking for the practical things to be done within the confines of what we have asked the Liberian people to give us to do. You can't
Yeah.
come there and start giving excuses or five. You know what 5 months mean? You know what 5 months mean? Do you know that some of the weird people became millionaires in 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you see what happened with Matana McGill? Didn't you see
Mm-hmm.
what happened with Jefferson Koji? Didn't you see what
Mm-hmm.
happened with Samuel Tuwel in 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what happening right now with people in 5 months in this government?
Mm-hmm.
Can you account for all of the activities in 5 months? There are people now who have become $500,000 richer than they were the other day. It could be
And let me go back to education again. Let me go back to education.
I'm just telling
I
you,
want to go back to education.
time for delays. Go ahead, Doc. Sir. Go ahead, Chairman.
Look at the budget of education. Look at the budget of education. The appropriation is decreasing. How can we be saying we want to empower our people, we want to move to middle income class level, and then investment in education is low? I mean, I
So what is the
compare
budgetary
how much money
allocation
if
for
you
that?
combine BWI, yeah, BWI, Tottenham High, vocational schools, KRTTI, and university. Compare their appropriation for those learning institutions to security, to EPS.
Yeah,
What is that?
just for them to be yelling, clear the road, running around the
Yeah, clear the road.
clear the road. But if I didn't know, clear the road, I automatically do. Moses, I'm telling you, man, just clear
I mean,
the road.
you telling me, yeah, you're criticizing. What do you think we're supposed to do?
Claro.
Like, bro, like, bro,
What is ZTI? How
wow.
much money they give to ZTI? Look at the colleges they have. How much money they give them?
Claro.
But they're giving money to EPS. You owe you 80 years old. You scared to die that you spend more money on yourself than money going to the schools, the clinics, and what have you. I mean, yeah, you tell not asking for miracle. We're saying, look at the budget and begin to tell people you are changing the way we're doing things. The paradigm is going to be changed. We invest in more in education. You appropriated 5 million for agriculture instead of 69 million. But you appropriate 69 million to pay domestic debt. And which of the institution is the principal domestic creditor? The central bank. So why you won't pay your subsidiary more money and you can invest that in agriculture?
Hmm.
69 million. Look in the budget. In fact, again, George, we are appropriated 55 million. Boca appropriated 69 million. And somebody telling me, oh, you guys are not fair to my uncle. No, I'm fair with him. In fact, in the Lufa tradition, it is the nephew that can tell the uncle the truth.
And that's why you can call about still because you can call about
Yeah,
still.
yes, that's true. He's right. He's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
You can tell Uncle anything. So I didn't know that that's a real. That's a
no, that's what it is.
wow. I see what you
But
get.
we can pay any price when the uncle get ready, though.
Mhm.
Yes, that's a relationship. But I'm saying we need to tell our friends who are working with Borkai to say, especially people who claim they were progressive before, you got to open up or
So
else resign.
let me ask you this question quick. Just because you said our friends, your vice standard bearer, Dr. Yuri Yakbawolo,
Mhm.
is the head of the EPA. Has he come back to the party and say, "Hey, man, these are the challenges, and they are a reality, and you'll give the women some time," or is he saying, "Man, listen,
I'm okay.
yeah, I'm okay. We making
Well,
progress."
our party is a political party for a long time. We debate issues,
Okay.
we disagree,
Hmm.
but the majority prevail. And I can tell you, in all honesty, on his side, from day one when he started working, everybody was praising him. He find the guys who are building the roads from ELWA to Roberts to RIA.
Yeah, that
He find
East
yeah
Company.
yeah the guys who are Dickinson in Guapalu, he find them. If the lawsuit did not prevent him, you're gonna hear a lot of good news. Like I said to you, before even confirmation, he declared his asset and he published it. No, we tell him it's integrity.
Yeah.
No, he believes in integrity. He will enforce it. And he said it. It's not that he can't find a job. He's not going to bend the rules. No. Not because of a job. No, he's not going to bend the rules. He won't.
All right. It's about almost 9 o'clock. We know it's 1 o'clock in the morning over there. We're ready
Yeah,
to
okay.
take leave of you, and we don't want to hold you any longer. We've been
Thank you
about
very much.
now. Uh, Anything, Moses, before he leaves?
No, I mean, he was very informative tonight. And Mr. Chairman, I want to say thank you for coming.
Thank,
We really appreciate the opportunity that you always take time to come and talk to us about issues in the country. And thank you
thank
for
you, sir.
what
Thank
you
you.
continue to do. Yeah.
But we invite you guys. I know press people say you don't want to be in political parties, but again, you have to begin to raise the issue. The issue of revenue is serious.
Okay.
The NGOs are doing a lot to harm us, and you guys are aware of that. In fact, in my mind, it is because of the NGO activity that a lot of Liberians now believe that stealing from people is the best thing to do.
Mm.
Yes,
Can we find time to have that conversation? Can we bring you
you're
back?
welcome. Yes, you're welcome.
Okay.
Are NGOs criminals?
I
Operators of
even
NGOs?
The World Bank has her own NGOs, and they make more profit than ordinary NGOs.
Okay.
So there's a financial expert now. So I think it's better
Well,
to bring
yeah,
it
yeah,
in.
he knows what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That can be a
Like
very
the
good show, you
example,
know.
the World Food Program. What are they doing? World Food Program, 7 billion a year they receive in terms of donations and whatever. What are they doing? They're buying food from Western countries and discouraging us from making farm.
That's true.
So that means they're recycling the money right in the pockets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They give right back to the
Okay.
Yeah.
people.
But you
Thank
know
you,
what?
sir.
Great conversation. I think we'll bring you back here probably in July.
Okay.
Give you some breathing space. Uh, so we'll bring you back in July to discuss this. I think that's a great conversation to talk about the work of NGOs in third world countries, and
Yeah.
Liberia can be a practical example of what they're doing there and what's the benefit to the people. But I think it'll be
Mhm.
a conversation, and I appreciate that you brought that up. But that, Honorable Zizit, we say thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I know the time is late out there. We don't want to keep you any further, and we have a segment. Except you want to hang out with us. If you've been here before, you remember we do what type of country is this? If you want to hang out with us, you can have fun. We
The
can.
only thing I asked for, Alfonso said that there's a lady that wanted to talk to me. I don't know whether she's in or she's not in. Other than that, I would say thank you for the invitation, but let me take a rest.
All right, good. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
There's no lady here. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good night. Good night from
All right.
from your end. All right.
you. Yeah.
Moses, what type of country is this? They say the
Man.
president put more money for the EPAS, only for them to pass it around and say, clear the road, clear the road, and the money
We
for
start out your trouble.
Hey, President Boaga, my man, don't be scared of us now. You are one, my man. The puppet was our last hope, man. Hey, man.
Yeah.
What,
But anyway, Volcano say, I mean, look, we don't regret because
oh, no, we can't regret. We
it
can't
was,
regret.
Labro was caught between the hard ground and the scissors. So,
Oh, the rocket a
we,
hot place.
yeah, the rag and a half left, my brother. So we still celebrate because Job we are actually was not a good leader. He needed to go.
Oh, but you saw the man
So
finding penalty the other day? Oh, you see the man finding penalty? Oh, let me see if I can find it.
the man was kick.
The man said no player on earth in the whole world can score more than I don't know how many penalties. Now, the safety was-
Can you
But you know,
imagine, man?
but you know they say he was a goalkeeper before he went to play on the field.
Ah,
You know that? Yeah, we
okay.
have a
I
goalkeeper.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that you a
But
goalkeeper.
look, what type of country is this that a lawmaker will hire you
Mm-hmm.
and tell you, Volcano, that your pay is $400 a month, but when you take pay,
Mm-hmm.
he tells you to take $200 of that money and give it back to him because he said there are other people who supported him and you need to pay them. What type of country is this? That is what happening at the national legislature now.
But what type of country is this that allows the lawmaker to bring his own people in and increase the salary when there should be civil servants assigned to him? What type of country is
this? The man bring your own staff, my man, and decide how much each of them will get. What type of country is this? You know? And he tells the people, say, you're right, to check out to me. What type of country is that? Look, my man, I want to think to them, my man, I say, yeah, this country is a joke.
Yeah, man, I found the clip. Yeah, man, ain't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that man ain't a go. What type of country is there? Former president money go.
Former president, my man, I bought Isaka, my man.
Hey, man. You said, man, say we go up?
So the man expertise, man.
My man, I let it go, man. I can enjoy it. They made that tip like free, man.
Yeah, my man, like man expertise, oh.
He said, my man, you don't know me.
Now, all that man needed to focus on. Play a game. Yeah.
Let's say that go.
Let's have it.
You don't know me.
Yes, young player. Begin web the team, man. The man score, eh?
Let's go.
The man score, eh? The man miss that one.
You said the other one again.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the man was real goalkeeper before he won the field to play. Everybody who knows we are saying he was a goalkeeper. Bring him on. Man. You said, man, posture.
Yeah.
Game 3 today, I said 2. I told you. I don't want even know how much. I told you that no one in the world can score 5 penalties on me. Warm up.
Everything the man's number one, man.
A lot of running.
The man quite said Labrador best person. Yeah, the man.
I said,
Hold on.
excuse me. The argument, there's no argument here. I said your chance. You can't score 5 penalties. No player can score 5 penalties on me in a penalty shot. Every team that I've man for, I have to say one.
Hey, yeah, the man is a man. Everything he man for.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think this is Ghana. He went to Ghana. They're not Liberia.
Okay.
Yeah. I could hear the Ghana guy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what type of country is this that the former president is now more active with soccer?
Yeah. Then when he was president.
Yeah.
Nothing for soccer, though.
Yeah, man. So active, my man. You know, instead of helping to tap into resources for sports development, he prefers being on the field himself. You know?
Shaggy McAfee, what type of country is this? The Liberia was caught rather between the devil we know and the devil we knew.
I tell you. What type of country is this?
Thomas Awaji, what type of country is this? Where people are swimming in their bedrooms during a flood. and I'm afraid say Liberia needs lifeguards.
Yeah. When you wake up in the morning, man, you got swimming pool.
The way I'm swimming pool expensive and you can get free swimming pool.
You got free swimming pool in your house.
LIB. Uh,
You got swimming pool all over the place, bro.
whatever
Oh,
country
yeah.
is Shaggy McCaffrey, it doesn't matter who the president is. The all lawmakers will continue to steal from the people.
Whatever country is this, bro? Lawmakers stealing from their own employees.
You gotta
He
wanna
said,
no labor law say you can do that one. That one
no, but that's a violation level of how you put money in now for 200 and they say, I tell you, I'm going to get you back. That's a joke, man.
I say no miracle. My man, that America will ask me for Raymond Clark.
The message for me, I say you might not well go, but just make sure every money you give my boss.
Let me take off my glasses and you got tear.
We make a full party in our office, but then make getting free for it.
They make up 50. They what? They make up
Yeah,
50. One G5.
1,500, but then what give?
And make packet cheese, yo. That one can take your order.
Yeah, but I make everyone gasoline or Eva.
The man talking about going pre-store.
From the street.
The man took our cars grade to be even worse than the cars. Raymond Clark, whatever country is this? School recess now lasting for 1 hour instead of 30 minutes. 1 hour instead of more days in 1 hour.
Maybe my joke or something. How do you allow the kids to stay out there for 1 hour, man?
But at 1 hour, Bobby say they put a threat in the boy. You love go play football.
Your school will break down. They said, no man, that principal was there. I bet. They go straight to the proprietor household. They said, Bobby, that principal made your school to break down. Yeah. We tell him, man, to get on 2 hours long.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be out there, no man.
You don't get correct reset. My can't sit down in class whole day in a hot.
Yeah.
Was
That school will break down.
that book?
Make sure that school break down. It's all for truck.
I mean, everywhere like bro, everywhere that joke about what whatever country is this tomorrow where the former president play around instead of traveling the world and
Yeah.
giving speeches.
Yeah. He said, when you keep 5 minutes on me, I will have to catch one. You can score 5.
Man, when the Ghana man Ghana chilling in money go. Money practice.
Yeah. They said, no other player in the world can do what I can do. Nobody.
Tell me I'll save 2 at least.
Nobody can score 5 minutes on me.
All the teams that I'm out for, I save at least 1 or 2. I'm a famous singing after he said a former the man a grown up man. Former president of pre-line.
Yeah, they went straight to degree down with English.
I thought he was playing for survival.
Yeah. They're still talking about man. Well, the guy gave me the presidency so because so simple, man.
Why you think some of the people that in the house? Somebody was talking about I know Safoko. Money did lawmaker in the house.
Lola, bro, we had to trouble out, man. Somebody you know first from your agreement. Now, Lord, we go.
Shaggy McCaffrey, what type of country is this? Our former president loved football more than anything else. We have legislation with soccer. President Weah, you persecute those who steal the money, will give you new soccer outfits.
So, man, I told you, nobody in the world. You keep 5 pennies there, I will have to save either 1 or 2, but you can't score 5 on me.
Shaggy McCaffrey, Mommy, water swimming near you when you wake up in the morning because of all the flooding that's going on. Shaggy McCaffrey also says that you now need life vest before you go to bed. Yeah, because you
Oh yeah,
when you know you wake,
yeah.
you sleeping well.
Man, all the homes now in Labrador, they are all prisons. Oh, the man got iron door to the front, to the back door. You got iron door there too.
Even the iron don't can hold the water outside. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid,
Man,
what kind of country is this when the former government party chairman is now a pastor?
the man say he resigned from the party also he can be active with human rights advocacy.
Who that?
Oh, Jesus.
Mo-
Moba Molu.
I want to see more.
Yeah. Moba Molu say he resigned. Oh. He want to be a serious human rights advocate now. He resigned from the CDC. I said, but Mr.
Can you imagine your supervisor keeping half of your paycheck in America and giving you the other half?
They kind of trouble, they kind of lawsuit that will come that supervisor say you will not believe it.
Raymond Clark, what type of country is this, man? With 40 years of experience making so many mistakes to lead our country. Shaki McCaffrey, what type of country is this? Our former president left the streets. Is the street and the street didn't leave him.
No,
What country is this where so many sad things are happening, but the fun can't finish?
It never finishes, man. People just
What
chilling.
country is this? You go to be in Logan Town, you wake up in point 4 due to the flood. You were sleeping in Logan Town.
Yeah, you wake up and man, you laying on top of your mattress, you're floating.
No way, Thomas, watching who down Cardwell. Thomas, why you say flood can happen in Cardwell? But it coming. The way the people building and blocking all the waterway.
Yeah, every shit, man. Yeah, man. The ministry, and when this thing like that happen, it can better destroy the roads. You know, it strips all the, you know.
Because the thing soak over time. Everything gets
Mm-hmm.
You know, our road is just red dye, the pound, and then they put the asphalt on it, put some first, then they put the asphalt on it, and then they smooth it out. So nothing holding that thing, no steel. You see how the people build the roads here?
Oh yeah, my man, the guy made that solid, my man.
The steel.
Solid concrete, you gotta pull out your shit, man.
But all our roads, they're flat ground, and the potholes. All that they put in that whole Ralphie highway is uneven. I just drove on the thing uneven. Uneven. If they don't put another.
So when you drive it, my man, the vehicle can just be bouncing. Eh?
It's uneven. It's uneven. I mean, my man, the company got no track record of building roads. Yeah. Shaggy McCaffrey is becoming Miami. Now it's palm trees.
The boy just said, man, come and eat your own. Social connection, man. Everything is about connection.
The message.
No sense of nationalism, yeah.
I'm a famous if I was a crocodile, I would move to Liberia to eat fresh meat.
Oh yeah, because every time I mean we ring heavily, you just comes out.
But listen now, so recent period that gave away.
Oh yeah, man.
The
schools got to operate.
Wow. So you
see an educator telling you, say the people are telling
meaning resell.
The principal then say you need to tell your school will close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
great show, my man.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for showing up here tonight. I thought it was a good conversation having the chairman. I mean, the public made some very important points here. Let's also tussle, some things here are not done right. Let's hope that all of the conversation here we hold, not just here in the issues room, but all other platforms that are discussing the missteps of the government, that there will be some improvement. It is better to talk about these things than just say, because we advocated for unity party and we didn't want we are. You see, we are playing football. We ain't got to worry about Liberia again.
Oh, my man.
You got nothing to worry about. You would think that he's supposed to be worried that the legacy he did not build, he could be working hard to make an impact in these 6 years, like former presidents would do. But the man don't care.
Yeah.
And the man will come at 2029 and make a big show that I bring people asked to pay again and put in there. So
Yeah.
in Liberia, these politicians don't work for nothing. They're not very convincing enough. But it's the ignorance of our people, the acceptance of handouts.
That's it.
You know, that's the reason why. Look, we're talking about money changer in the house.
Yeah. You get it, man. The house down. They see now you're taking money from people now. You know. Yeah, man. He entered the legislature. He had no clue. You know.
Yeah.
Then he want benefit from the people who work for him. How do you? I mean, if this allegation of Volcano is really true, I hope that the Barker administration will take some action, man. I mean, this is absolutely different.
Yeah,
It's
you can,
different.
not because he's a lawmaker, you can still prosecute
Yeah,
under the law.
you can prosecute a man. Yeah,
for violating the labor practices within the confines of the law. You can still do
yeah.
that. Then the people can take a vote of no confidence and remove him, right?
They can remove him.
The
But
people
if it is even true that he's doing stuff like that, the justice ministry can prosecute him. That's theft.
But Moses, you see the thing I was saying here, why you saw me getting a little zealot and a little rough edged, it's because everything we can do is within our power, our abilities to do. But the will is not there because
willpower.
You see, Moses, I can't feel bad about you if myself does not have a good character.
No.
So there are many guys in broadcast administration now that can point finger. They can talk. They know what they've done in the early time, and they were waiting for UP resurrection, and they're back. So yeah, some of these things are being glossed over. They put in nail polish, whitewash, to just keep it status quo. So we need to keep talking. We can't allow them to just get away with it. And we say, oh yeah, I'm not asking for miracle, but I know what should be done within 5 months. I know when people mean well. I know it for a fact. If you say no money in the country and you approach the asset recovery in the wrong context, then fix it and start and still keep the operation going. Then it means yes, to err is human, to forgive is divine, like a man spoon saying with us. Yeah. You're not seeing that.
I'm not taking the monzo. Go to bed. I want to better be praying for to forgive his divine.
I'm just saying that we can do it if we have the willpower and it's possible. So let us not continue to give excuses for these who lied and come to power, even at the presidency level, and fail to take one step forward. You don't take action based on duress. You take action because it is the right thing to do. You take action because it's in the interest of the greater masses. That's why you take action as a leader. You understand? You can be dragging your feet 176 plus years. You still be dragging your feet rather, and say 5 months we get to power. No, you want to. You say you want a robust change. The country was on autopilot. The country is nose diving to crash, and you have to sit in the cockpit and set the country back into sanity. So this is not a big asking, and nobody should come here and pretend like we're asking for miracle. No, we're not asking for miracle. These are doable things. Doable things. You come to power. You do your asset declaration. You tell us what you have now. Yes, it's published. If I start doing something outside of the norm, you can hold me accountable. You can hold my ministers accountable. Before you work in my government, before you go to that confirmation hearing, your assets should be published in the newspaper before you sit confirmation here. But you're taking everything backwards, the things you promised to do. And you want us to accept that?
It's just sad, man. And, the very thing that will condemn me, Joe,
Yeah, you can't. We can't
uh,
keep giving
you
excuses.
were doing the same thing, man.
Let's just say we've blamed the legislature for many things happening in the country, and we've talked about it. But the
Yeah,
executives themselves are not doing something to build that contrast, that vast contrast between what the legislature is doing and what the executive is doing and what the judiciary is doing.
but
Who runs the
but
country? Who is the operational arm of the country? When you
it's
when
the
you
executive.
yeah, when you talk about a company, right? A
Mm-hmm.
company, who drives the company? It's the operation.
The executive leadership,
Yeah,
operation people.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then you want to say, oh, everything is the legislature. No, you yourself got your part to play. And let's try to fix some things. Time is of the essence. No time to play around. No time, Moses. You and I are not young boys again. No
no,
way. When will we see this country looking better than what it is? When? If President Barker say he's a man up there in age, almost 80 years old, he ain't got nothing to lose. It's just the legacy. Then put things in place that will leave that legacy. Immediately begin to act, to move, to move, move fast. Because time is not in your favor. If
that's
there's
true.
no business as usual, then we lackadaisical on many of the key things.
That's true.
The Papa pointed
Then,
out something important here. You've never been to
mm-hmm.
the AU. You've never been to ECOWAS.
Echo was.
You're not in tune with Mano River. These are your these are your partners.
Yeah, your neighbors, my man. You got to touch base with the people. If you're not touching base with them, that the West will do everything for you.
Oh, we said it here. Did we ever go to the AU to address the AU? I don't I
No,
know of.
I'm not. I
I know,
didn't hear about that.
I'm saying I know he only was anxious to go to the UN, but I never
UN,
remember him
yeah, but
addressing.
bro, rather been bad.
Yeah,
I think you know what we need to kind of check that because I know maybe he may have taken some trips, some of these ECOWAS meetings.
I mean,
Yeah, but it's very important. Yeah,
yeah, we can check, but I don't know. I don't know if we
yeah,
are
it,
addressing the
it
AU.
is important.
Whether he sent his foreign minister prior to Kimaya, who was the Kimaya was not his first foreign minister, right?
No, Finley was there.
Finley, yeah,
Finley was foreign minister. After Finley resigned, then that's when Kimaya came.
yeah.
Yeah,
But the point here is that your regional partners are key to your development.
but
To
man, it's
your
like
things.
the way you living down there. Your Liberian brothers who are closer to you that you friend with. You can look on the other side when something happens, they will be the first to run to you. Before you start looking outside.
Yeah, so my brother, that's
So
it. But
yeah,
we got more to talk about. So many other things to talk about.
yeah,
We'll catch up on Friday by the grace of God.
sure,
With something good to talk about again, but it was a good conversation. I'd like to say
definitely it was. Thank
thanks to
you.
everyone who showed up here tonight. We'll be back here Friday. Thank you.
Yeah, family. It
Thank you.
was a good having all of you.
Thank
Enjoy.